Okay, good morning. This is my van switch. I'm only showing you this for a simple reason. On my videos, when I do a switch or one of these Chinese switches, which I'm doing today for the boat, people say to me, well, where's your isolation switch? Right, this is it. Okay, it's a three-way rocker. All right, one way, that one, there's nothing, because it's only comes straight from a battery. But there's my isolating switch. So that turns on. I don't have it connected to a generator. I don't have it connected to my battery in my vehicle. It is purely as it is. All right, so it's just connected straight to the battery. So this isolates it from the battery to save my battery. And I've not charged this for 3 months, and I've still got 12.1 volts in it. All right, and connected to that, if you can see at the back here, there's a fuse. So it's an inline fuse and an isolation switch. So I just thought I'd clarify that. I do isolate my stuff, so it's isolated. But also, this is another one here you might like. This little device goes up to a set of lights. The USB, I don't know if you've seen them. They're USB wire, little copper wire fairy lights they call them, which is great for around the ceiling. And that's isolated as well. That switches it on. I'll show you now. Just give us a sec. Oh, I got LED lights as well on the roof. They switch off separately. There you go. And these are the fairy lights. Okay, these are when we go camping at night. Okay, and they're all isolated on this switch panel, so it's all safe. So the voltage dropped now, so I've been putting the lights on, as you can see, so it might need a bit of a charge up today. Turn them off, she's back up to 12.1 again. It's taken a couple of volts. Alright, just thought I'd show you that before we start on the boat and assembling the I'll put a link in the description below for both these, so you know you can get one yourselves. So a three-way rocker, because I was asked about that, and the USB switch for lights. And I think just there. Ideal. I'll get that screwed in. Come back in a sec. A little bit tricky to hold. I'll just get one in for now. Use my left hand, I think. I just want one in. We'll level it up in a minute. Okay, so you see that? Yep. And I'm using stainless steel screws. What I'll probably do on the outside of this, I'll countersink them slightly, or I might even swap them for some. There you go. Or some different ones. But I'll just get them in for now. I just want to show you it wired up. That's like it's going nowhere. Okay, I'm going to swap this one now for a three-way connector. Now, someone keeps saying to me about a bus bar. A bus bar is a piece of metal. I wouldn't say it's similar to this, but if you imagine, it's got about 5 screw heads on top on a plate of metal about so long, connected to a piece of plastic. Then you got a hole in each end of the plastic. You mount that either in the box or on the outside, wherever you want, and all your negatives or lives, and probably negatives, will go to that bus bar. This is the same principle, except that if you want this to become like a negative, then you have to have a loop from that one to that one to that one. Then this side and this side will all be negative. So I want 3 connections. I want port and starboard lights and stern light. I want a bow light separate when you're at anchor, and I want my bilge pump separate. And that's it really, because it's only a 17-foot trailer sailor. It's only a day boat. So I'll connect this up now. Okay, a little bit. I didn't make a mistake. I've told you incorrectly. So a negative, a bus bar, you wouldn't have a live going to it. You just have the neutral going to it. Sorry. I'm using the live on this one because I want the live from the battery going to here. So that means that the live from the battery is going to the live which is making the switch live. And the other two, the other two would be negative. So I put my negative in there, like so. And then I could put the battery negative straight to there as well, and that would make all these then, all these 4 negative. Okay, so you could use any of them, connect the wires to, and then this would be just the live, which is what I'm going to do anyway. Okay, save any confusion, what I've done is just got 1 block connector, which I've got spares, and put that straight to the live. So that means now that's totally independent. So now this block connector here, I'll put negative in there, and I'll put a loop to this one, and from there to there to there, that'll make this whole block connector negative. You'll see in a sec. Okay, here we go. Negative block in, negative, well, not block, a negative loop. You got that? Then connect that negative, that's from the back, that'll go into the negative part of the switch. Right, hold on, screwdriver. Okay. Right, so then we got a loop in that one. What we want now is another loop from there. If he fits in, it's quite. This is 10. Is it 10 amp? Yeah, it is. There we go. So this is doing the same job as a bus bar. Probably the bus bar will be a lot easier for a lot of people, but it's like 8 quid, 9 quid, and this is only just a day sailor, so I could do it. I've got one ordered, so I'll show you a picture of a buzz bar now, and then you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so there you go. So that's your loop-ins. So all this block now is a negative once I connect the battery. Okay, so this is it. This is my negative coming in from the battery. Okay, and it'll go that side. It doesn't matter. You've got that. Hold on, let me just bring you up, because now I'm up a bit higher. There we go. These are called terminal connectors, okay, in the UK anyway. So you got your live coming straight from your battery straight into the switch, and then you've got your hold on, excuse me, I had to sneeze, and then you've got your negative coming in from the battery to a terminal block. So if I separate like that, you'll see what I mean. So anything else now coming into here can go to the top, or bottom, which I'll just use the bottom, and that'll be this one, which is my this is my bow light, but I've got to extend the wires on that, and well, I'll show you. I'll do it now. Okay, what I've just done is wired this to an internal light in here. It's a switch light, so it means it doesn't matter which one I connect it to. If it's permanently on, I can turn it off at the switch, which is like, it doesn't really matter. You'll see. Okay, let's have a look. So I've connected up the battery using Anderson terminal. I've got them in another video. I'll pick one switch. Let's go for this one here. So this would have a spade on the end of it. So I've gone straight to my negative block with the wire with the black line on. This is my live wire coming from the light. Okay, so I'll put them, this would have a spade on the end, like I said. Okay, I'm going to put him in there. Just hold him. It's only a few volts. Okay, switch him on. Do you see the light coming on? I'll show you that now. So on comes that. I can flip you around. Ooh, sorry, and up. More. We're nearly there. Is that it? There's the light, and he's switched as well here. Yeah. So that can be on a permanent live. It doesn't really matter, but that's a separate switch. So that's how it's going to work. And if I use this switch, off she goes, on it goes, off it goes. Pretty straightforward really, but don't forget you got to wire them inside the box. I'll turn you back round 2 seconds. So have you back round here. So don't forget, you've got to put the wire, and these have all got to come into the box. So I'm just showing you as a demo. So I'll crack on and I'll show you when I'm nearly done. Okay, so far, earth block connector. Okay, well, we will be in a second. Port and starboard lights, which is the red and the green light. Neutral will be coming to here. I've already done the stern, the port and starboard lights to the live, all going to one spake. I want them all on one switch. It doesn't matter which switch, I'll decide what I want. I'll just put a little sticker saying lights or something. So, and they all come through the box. I put a bit of conduit in. Okay. So the one from the bottom, which is the stern light, the other two are coming through the top, which is a piece of conduit. It'll all come together. And then they're all going to go to one switch, because that's all I need is port, starboard and stern light on together. So let's put it on that switch for now. The next switch will be the bow light, which has to be separate, because that will stay on overnight if you're skipping in the vehicle, boat, yeah. So that'll have to stay on overnight. And then the final one is the bilge pump. Okay, so looks like a jungle. It's not, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, I've got them all coming into the box. I've just got to wire up the port and starboard light now, and that's it. And I'll show you exactly what I've done, and it's pretty straightforward. If you can see the internal, I don't know if you can see it, but this one here I've wired. This wire is coming from the internal light, so it's permanently live. Remember I said I was going to do that? Let me just show you, turn you around. Okay, and that's for the simple reason it's switched, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, it looks a jungle, but it's not. It's quite straightforward. All the neutrals go to the neutral block, all the neutrals, every single one of them, and one permanent live to that, which is the internal light, and the rest of the lives, which is the bilge pump, port and starboard lights, which are these here, port and starboard lights, all going to that, and the stern light is going to the live. So lights, port and starboard and stern. I think that's, I'll take that in a minute, and one of them, well, there's two lives going here. One is for the bow light and the other one is for the bilge pump. You see that? Oh, you can't see that properly, yeah. So bilge pump, whichever it is, I'll check the switches. I'll soon tell you now. Is it on? Bilge pump. Can you hear that? And then that's for the, but I'll show you all in a second. Okay, before I put it all in, I'm not tested it yet. I'll show you in a sec. So yeah, I'm not going to explain anymore, because I'm just going to confuse myself. All in. Okay, and if you see, I put some trunking up. Okay, I've got some more trunking to go in. So that is the stern, that is the bow light, the big one, because it's got to go all the way to the other end of the boat. And the other two internally are three actually. This one and these two. They are port and starboard lights and internal light. Okie dokie, time for a test run. So what I've done is cable tied the two cables together, one from the bilge pump coming in, the mains coming in, and all the rest. So they're not going to be pulled out, but these could be pulled out at the bottom. I've just done a quick cable tie on these. I'll put it all back together, put the switch in the box, and we'll give it a test. Okay, here we go. So Anderson connectors. This is a battery out of an old wheelchair. I've had it years. So that's connected. So we should have, there we go, we've got the lights on. We've got 12.8 volts coming on there. Don't forget we've got USB ports behind there as well, two of them. There we go. That's just the camera making that look, flashing LEDs. Doesn't really look like that here. There we go. So bilge pump. There's a little bit of water in there, nothing to worry about. Okay, next one. I've got to get little stickers for these. I've got them. No, I'm not too sure. Is that internal light? That could be. There we go. And that should be the internal light. which is on the switch. What else should that do? That should be doing, let's have a quick look, bear with me. Okay, middle one, that's the bow lights, just bow, because it's the only one that you need on, I think, when you're, you can correct me if you are, I did look it up, but when you're at anchor, you need a light on at night permanently. So that's that one. So that'll be the middle one, which is the bow light. Is it bow? Yeah. And then the other one, these should now be the stern lights and the port and starboard. So let's go and have a look. I've not tried them yet. I hope I've wired them up right. What I have done, if you look, I've used shrink wrap connectors. So you crimp them and then shrink wrap them. And I think, yeah. Oh, I can't tell now. Is it? I'll just tell you now. Yeah. So white is live, which goes to the black. All right. If you do get it wrong, they just don't work. So you have to swap them around. So there you go. Stern light on. Port red. Starboard green. Both working beautifully. Look at that. So it's all done. So this boat had, well, I didn't see any wires in it before. They were just fitted there. Where they were working or not, do not know. There was no sign of any batteries. There was no sign of any wires, except, no, there wasn't any wires. So, but she is 1975, 80. I've put these in. I've shown you. So now we really have an operational craft. So everything working. I will re-tidy this up. These will be tucked in and tidied up. They'll be probably strapped in, or even some more conduit. Like I said, the battery and the Anderson. So that, at the moment, that connection is my isolation switch. But I could put one in, which I've showed you at the beginning of the video. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this one. If it was a bit long-winded, I do apologise. But I'm trying to follow, well, trying to give you everything step by step. All right, take care. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. I don't think people realize how important that is on YouTube. A thumbs up makes a massive difference. All right, take care. Love you all loads, and see you in the next vid.